I think we're live.
All right.
Let's give it a shot.
I don't hear any music.
Hold on a second. I got to start everything else going here.
Hey, Snake Force. The Mysteries of Turkey, Part 2, live.
Live!
You are listening to Brothers of the Serpent podcast.
Perfect.
Kyle's going to say it's too low.
Sounded great.
Oh, thank you.
See, I proved you wrong again.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, angels and demons and monsters and serpents. This is Brothers of the Serpent podcast, and we are coming to you live from the 10x10x10 Tangent Cube of Science, where we are nestled amongst the dusty bones of an ancient seabed high atop the Everest Plateau, and we are joined in the cube by Snake Wife, Laura.
Hello.
Sorry about that.
That's all good. It probably didn't pick it up.
Yeah.
Where's the chat?
That's a
You
good
didn't
question.
Set the chat up on here.
Again, we
Oh,
go
man.
live while
Huge mistake.
we are still fiddling around.
I don't know, yeah.
Where is it?
Well, anyway, we are joined by Laura.
Hi. I went
Hi,
to
babe.
Turkey too.
Yeah, she went to Turkey with us. The whole family did, actually. Mom and Dad went as well, and Lila.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys were there for 10 days?
Our whole
Yeah,
trip was
2
2
weeks.
weeks. Yeah.
Mm.
14 days.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because that was the travel time too.
Yeah. So,
That's weird that the
12
chat window
days.
isn't up on there. That's strange. Sorry, we're trying to make sure that the
chat.
the
Box.
live chat is up on the screen so we can see, but it doesn't.
it out.
All right, Kyle's looking for it.
Okay, well, we could pour some tea.
Yes. What is this? You gotta. This
Well,
is
one of my favorite things about the Turkey trip that I brought home.
Oh, we put it up here, huh? So
Yeah.
you guys
There
can
we
see it.
go. Hey.
So yeah.
Oh, they're gonna be looking at their own chat when I share the screen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to move it down here.
No, it's fine up there. I think them looking at the chat would be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah, bunch of familiar icons in there.
Yeah. Look, it vanished again as soon as you clicked on that.
Oh.
Ooh,
There it is.
that's not good.
Hi, Sam Brown. Thank you for the flower.
Yeah, so I guess that we won't be able to see the chat all the time. That's okay.
Yeah, unless I move this monitor up here on the table.
Yeah, you could do that. Let's do it live.
Yeah,
Here we go.
We're doing it live.
I'm going to pour tea.
How's that?
That's good.
Okay. Ta-da. Can you read
Oh.
that?
I didn't know where it was going to come up.
Sort of. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see.
So this is your turkey style tea service.
This is I purchased the tea in the bazaar and the spoons and the cups. And I wanted to bring this experience home. We had tea multiple times a day, every day there, in this exact cup, with this exact spoon, and this
Yes.
exact saucer,
Thank you, babe.
with a sugar cube in there.
Thank you, Kyle DeLille.
Hey, beer money.
Appreciate it, buddy.
With
43.20.
43.20 Canadian
Oh, crap.
leaves.
I forgot to grab beers.
Kyle DeLille,
Yeah.
you're going to need to come to Texas
Yeah, bro.
May 21st. Did you tell him yet about the Kyle meeting?
Oh,
Oh, yeah, we got a meeting of all Kyles in Kyle, Texas.
in Kyle, Texas.
You have to be there.
They're trying to break the the Guinness Book of
It's
World
like-
Records thing.
It's the day after we get back from the Scablands. Yeah, bro. You should come down.
Yeah, seriously. We actually are being very serious.
Yeah, we'll get in the Guinness Book of World Records, bro. We got to beat the stands, I think, from...
It's Ivan's.
Oh, it's Ivan's.
Which I want to
Ivan's.
know if
Yeah, they did
the
that in
Ivan
like Germany
that we
or
know
something.
was there. We got to
He
ask
probably
Ivan.
was. You know what? We got to take down Ivan.
Yeah.
Kyle.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's
Yeah.
good.
Cheers.
Okay.
Thanks
Turkey
for
soda
hot
going on
tea.
over here.
I feel like the audio is too quiet.
I'm in here because I finally went on a trip across the pond.
Yeah.
I'm not just in here because it's listener communications. I'm actually in here to talk about being on a trip.
Wow, you make it sound
You're
so
not
terrible.
in a boring
I
episode.
actually
Yeah.
love coming in on listener communications. It's actually my favorite. So I was just kidding when I was making that silly little voice. But thank you guys for letting me go.
You're welcome.
Is that what happened?
No, I'm just joking. But I was very grateful to get to be there and enjoy it. And the tea was one of my favorite things. A little touch of turkey to bring home with you.
Yeah, it was cool. They would serve it before and after every meal.
Yeah, and it's like
You
a
get a little
perfect amount.
thing of hot tea. Yeah.
All right, Kyle's gonna try to make it, dude. You can come stay. You
Yeah,
can
come
stay
stay
here.
at our house. Yeah.
You can sleep in Soul's bed. It's it's like 5 feet long, but it's comfortable.
Okay, do we have all the technical things worked out? Can we actually
Well,
start?
Most of them. Kyle's still going through the.
Not really anymore because as soon as I click on it, the chat goes away.
Oh,
So there's
That's
just
weird.
there's no getting around.
you can probably just dock it to the OBS window.
Oh.
Maybe. Not there.
You don't like that
Onto
one?
the side. Well, I mean, I guess that's fine. I don't care.
You just-
Whatever. I would dock it to the side, but
it's
that's fine.
go.
It's okay. Just put it right there.
Nope. I don't know how to.
So we
it.
do have we do have further thoughts. We want to show you guys some of the pictures and video that Kyle took from Turkey. I did do some post editing for the last episode for the YouTube version and put some of my stuff in there, but Kyle has lots of great photos and footage as well. So we're gonna try. This will be the first time we've done this. We're gonna try to pull some of that stuff up live and just play it and talk about it because he has some good footage.
You show me how this thing docks to the side, mister. It does not
Okay,
dock to
just
the side.
Dock it to the top then.
I can't make it dock anywhere now. Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. So why don't you give while I'm dealing with all this crazy crap on the fly live in front of everybody?
I know. I
Why don't
cannot
you,
believe this is happening right now.
Laura, you got anything? I mean, come on, save us here.
Okay, so I wanted to talk more about Sagmatar.
Okay.
I listened to the episode today when I was doing my stuff, and I kind of heard what you guys said about Sagmatar already. I guess first I want to say what you talk about with the trips being very amazing in a lot of ways, but that you are on a time schedule. You've got to get in, look
Yeah.
at what you got to look at, get out. There's a bunch of people. There's a lot of commotion. We're trying to herd everyone to come over here and hear what they've got to say. And,
Yeah.
and I had Lila with me, and
Right. Yeah.
anyway, I can't wait to go back. I can't wait to have more time and do more. But for some reason, I guess the Sagmatar place really stuck with me because it was the first place where we gave all the children the candy.
Yes. Yes, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were in the line handing it out.
Yeah.
And I just keep thinking about their life from their perspective of us coming to their place
Yeah.
in these white vans.
Yeah.
And I talked about
tiny
this a
little village out in the middle of nowhere with a bunch of ruins around it, and these vans show up, and all these people get out.
We're not here to see them or their homes.
No. Yeah.
And so
Yeah. We start climbing around on the old blocks that are around their place. Yeah.
And so I've just thought a lot about that from the kids' perspective. And you were saying that, the area of Turkey that we were in doesn't have a lot of new archaeological ideas, really. It's just kind of whatever the people around say, well, this is what we've always been told. A lot of the,
Yeah.
word of mouth, generational.
Yeah. Like
myths.
there isn't a lot of these sites don't have a complicated Western archaeological story.
Yeah. And that's cool.
Yeah.
And I wish at Sagmatar we would have had more time, or maybe when we go back we can do this more, but to get to sit around with the kids and the adults that were there with them and ask them questions, because they live there with it.
Yeah.
How long have they lived there? Does it make any weird sounds at night?
Yeah.
Where are your favorite spots? How does hide and seek work?
Yeah, does it make any weird sounds at night is a great question.
So, maybe we don't start that with the children, but you know what I'm saying. That's what I have thought a lot about. I wish I had more time to. I can't speak the language. Oh, merhaba, merhaba, Snake Force. We learned a little bit of some of the words to get around.
I learned almost nothing.
Kyle and I learned some we were using. It was fun. It was great, but I would need a translator with me.
Yeah,
you know, Ramazan would have to basically sit there with me so I could say, okay, ask them. You know, but I would love a chance to just sit there and like kind of interview or just be with those people some more too.
Yeah,
to see what they have to say. I guess that's one thing I've been thinking about.
Yeah, some people did have some conversations with some of the locals using the like the Google Translate app, where you talk into it and then it turns it into their language, and then they talk into it, turns it into yours. I mean, people were doing that.
Yeah, well, yeah, we did it some.
Yeah, and I think George did it, and he was asking the kids about artifacts, if they found anything or whatever. And,
okay.
And they told him, they found plenty of stuff, but you know.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah.
But I wish we had the time to be there more than just 2 hours, to have the kids take us around to some of their favorite spots.
Yeah.
You know, where do they get to roam? What do they know about?
Yes. Yeah,
So-
to have them lead you maybe to some spots that they
Yeah.
know of. Yeah.
What are some of your favorite spots or whatever? But it was a really cool place, and I loved getting to see it all. It was incredibly windy. Holy smokes. I don't do well in the wind. I was like,
You're right. A lot of the sites.
Laura's tear ducts don't work, folks, in case you
I'm partly
didn't know.
broken. I'm not actually crying all the time.
Yeah, her eyes are very watery, and in the wind, it's
The wind and these
amazing.
LED lights in here. Just get those.
Where are your glasses?
Get those rivers flowing.
Put on your 3D glasses.
I'll put these on later if it gets too intense. But yeah, it was very windy, but it was cool.
Oh,
But you don't have enough time to really check it out.
Yeah.
So
It's the same way in Egypt. Like, there's just never
I know,
enough
and
time.
I'm not trying to get on here and start complaining right away like you guys did the last episode. Obviously this is what's happened now is I'm doing
Is
it.
that what we did on the last episode? Started complaining to me. You're right. We're not
I just
complaining.
listened to it today.
We
I'm
totally are,
fresh.
though.
It's
Yeah.
fresh off the press.
People got me worried now that I got
goodness.
peaking going on.
Well, I tried to save you with a story, but
You
now
did a
I'm
great job.
concerned.
Thanks.
You did a
Okay.
fantastic
I shouldn't have talked shop in the middle of your story. My bad. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, now Kyle's worried about the audio. But look,
Hey, that's my job.
It's the same thing with any of these places. You go and there's a time limit, and there's just never enough time.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
do
there's
what you can
a
do.
couple of times when you're like, okay, I'm ready to go. Like, I've been here long enough, you know. But a lot of the sites, especially like Karahan, are so big that you could wander around there all day. You know, Sagmatar especially because of all the temples that are way out on the hills. So the second time we went, we climbed up to 2 of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The first time we went, we climbed the big central mound, which took a long time and it was tiring. That was it was a difficult
The
climb.
one where they have begun the excavation?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're climbing
George did that the week that I was there. I saw
Yeah.
George do it.
We climbed the top of that, and it's a steep climb.
Did you go to the Venus Castle?
We
or
went there
what?
the second time. Yeah. So that's the other thing is we got to go to some of these places twice.
I know.
So we did get more time at them. Yeah.
I think that's a really good way to do the trips. I like going to the sites twice because
Yeah.
a lot of times you go the first time and you get, you have this whole, it's sort of overwhelming. There's a bunch to look at. And then later you leave and you get to look through your pictures and think about it. And you get to see what other people saw, other people's pictures. And you're like, oh, man. And it kind of focuses your attention. And you're like, okay, what I really need to do when I go back is look at this specific thing, So it's great to be able to go and visit every site twice.
Yeah.
And you guys said that Ramazan had the idea of walking from Sagmatar
to Karahan or Karahan to Sagmatar. Yeah.
and I would be all about that. We would have to bring Lila one of those baby Yoda floating things for that because I'm not carrying her in the blue backpack
Yeah.
that far. But yes, I'm all about it.
Baby Yoda floating.
The Mandalorian. If anyone's seen The Mandalorian, what the Baby Yoda floats around in. You don't know?
I don't watch that stuff.
That's true. You don't. I don't know why. I just thought yeah. Anyway, anybody out there in the chat? There's the chat. Anybody know what I'm talking about? The Baby Yoda carrier
I can
that
imagine.
floats.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody can put a photo up in there.
It's the YouTube chat. You can't put pictures in
You
there.
can't just throw a photo up.
No. But yeah, doing that hike would be fun, and you know, you would be. I love that kind of stuff because you're just exploring the wilderness, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no trees, but you're just would be, you know, just exploring those rugged hills, climbing up the sides of the hills, going down into the valleys.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
I'm sure there's tons of ancient stuff out there.
What's going on?
I just made a typo in the chat. Sorry about that. I deleted it.
You to pay no attention to these people. Yeah, Murray is a troll for sure. 100%.
Oh shit. Okay. Should we show some video?
Yeah, let's take a look.
What are we gonna go to first here? I mean, the first thing I have in here is Haran. I have a little bit of stuff on there. I mean, it's interesting, but I think Sagmatar is probably a better place to start.
Okay.
So let's go to full screen here. Here we go.
So they can all see?
Yeah,
They will in just a moment.
There we go.
So this is
That's the central mound.
the central mound in the middle of Sagmatar, and you can see right here, if you can see my mouse, these are the excavation grids that they've done just on this little portion there.
Yeah. So you can see by the people at the top of the mound there, it is huge. And those are the village kids. It was fun at some of these sites. We had a group of 30 kids around us the whole time. They're following us around, and that's what Laura was talking about, being able to ask them, what have you guys found exploring these places? And the other thing to notice with this is just the landscape around all of these sites. So this is basically if Kyle would be walking through the river. This was the area where the water was before the river dried up. And when you're up above all of this and you look down, you can see that the river split around this central mound. Oh, here we go. There's our buddy Chris being chased by the kids.
But this, so were you talking about this bedrock here? I was
just saying like the landscape around. So yeah, you can see how the hills are bare, and then there's this central mound, and you would be walking in the river right here.
Yes.
Yeah, and this mound looks nothing like the hills around it.
That's right.
And all these blocks out here you can see are cut.
Yeah.
I think that these structures down at the bottom may be later people just building with the blocks that are falling off of that hill. It's an assumption. They just don't look as well built,
right?
As they look like, stables and things like that, maybe some dwellings. But yeah, this is what most of the hills look like in the area. Little tiny patches of grass where the dirt gets caught in a recession or something.
Yeah, and lots of them have maybe not as prominent a feature as that one with the cut into it, this is a really cool feature up here.
This is a great shot.
And you can see everybody heading. That's where we're heading. But yeah, it's very interesting. And then all the way at the top, there's also some stuff cut into the hilltop up there. And we got
more footage of this.
More footage of the central mound.
See, they messed up with the museum. They shouldn't have put it where they put it. They should have built the museum into the rock walls like the caves are everywhere. And then we would not have lost any.
Yeah, the museums were built in the down low where they unfortunately got flooded. That's what Laura's talking about. Yeah.
So you can see the hills in the distance there.
Yeah.
All bare, just like this one. These kids are hilarious too,
Yeah.
man. They're just. I want to pull in. Let me switch back for a second here, because I need to move this chat. Okay, I got it.
Oh, somebody's got a question for you there in the chat too.
Okay. Question from Edfu Text You Later. Says Kyle, in your I think he's saying reading, did you see Lee Clare's explanation for circles getting small in Gobekli Tepe was due to natural infill? Lee replaced Klaus Schmidt, by the way. No, I did not. I did see that in layer 2, which is the younger layer than layer 3, the oldest layer, that they were saying that the layer 2 enclosures were like small square enclosures, sometimes with 2 or 1 or even no T-pillars inside them. So I don't know if that's what you're talking about. But yeah, the layer 3 enclosures are the large circular ones with all of the pillars in a sort of circle-like enclosure that we're used to seeing. So maybe that's what you're talking about. I think some of the square enclosures are even thought, at least at Karahan Tepe, to be dwellings at this point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they are considered to be dwellings. And it's, it goes back and forth. Like you see them, I'd see them refer to it, even Gobekli Tepe, as a settlement, when later they would basically say that no one was actually settling there. So it is interesting. Are they dwellings or are they not? Is it? And then they will say, well, there's no storage for food, but if those square buildings aren't storage and they're not dwellings, then what are they?
Yeah, I know. And they don't have doors in them. They're like pit houses.
Pit houses.
Very similar to the
top access.
Yeah, to like the Pueblo culture.
Yeah. Pit
houses. So yeah, and we'll get to some of that. Should I show more of this Sagmatar landscape?
Yeah, let's look at more of Sagmatar.
Let's see here. I hope this is coming across okay.
Thanks, Rex. Rex says he missed us. Thank you, buddy.
Oh, hey, what's up, bro? Thank you.
Where are you seeing this?
So, just so you guys know, when I'm messing with the video footage up here, the chat goes away. So I have to keep. I don't know. It's gonna be. This is interesting.
We'll have to figure it out later.
I don't know why it won't dock.
Just another day here at Snake Bros.
Yeah. Zero mistakes.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's one of the temples up there in the distance.
Venus.
There's like a little shelter right there. But yeah, this thing is just massive. It's unbelievable. I think I have a time-lapse video of climbing it. You can see all the cut blocks.
The blocks, yeah. It's entirely man-made. And there's a layer of them sticking out right there.
Was it very crumbly? Was it hard to walk up?
Yeah, it was very steep.
Yeah, it's very steep.
Yeah.
And
okay, so you're standing in the...
Hey, Benzie. What's up, bro? Oh, sound guy. That's a Cosmographia sound guy right there.
That is.
What the hell is he doing there? All right. Pyramid Man. Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, it's interesting that central mound, it could actually have intact chambers inside of it somewhere, based on some of the brickwork that you see, the rock work that you see on the other side that's still intact, basically, that some of those could have open rooms in them. I wonder what could be in there.
These are so cool. I feel like I'm at a movie theater. I'm so mesmerized right now.
All right, we're gonna play.
I forgot for a minute I was like even in here.
We're gonna play this time lapse of us climbing this thing. There we go.
There we go.
This is cool. Look at Sebastian go. Just
Trust me, it's much slower than that in real life.
No, he's just kicking its ass.
Okay, so we're still getting the question from about. So PT2,
Part 2.
as in the circles get smaller. He's again talking about Gobekli Tepe. As in the circles get smaller, they used the natural infill to build up the walls to stabilize. He also stated natural and deliberate infill. So I agree that there is deliberate infill. I think that's a really good way to put it. That's much better than saying intentionally buried.
Yeah.
Because the sites, in my opinion, from what I can tell, were not buried intentionally. Infill was thrown into them deliberately. I think that's a good way to put it. I really do, because it's a fine point that like was the goal by the builders to completely bury this thing. No, I don't think so, because it in some cases took maybe 1,000 years or more to do it, and it was in 2 phases really.
Yeah.
And it's not even clear how long the phases are. But I'm kind of getting off of what you're asking. I'm not familiar with this. That they're just saying that the circles get smaller, unless I think that they, from what I could tell and of course the papers I was looking at were like 2011, 2013. So maybe they've got some newer stuff where they've dated the enclosures chronologically, and they can say the biggest ones are the oldest ones, and maybe that's what you're saying. I don't know. I haven't seen that. So, Watcher couldn't make it, by the way, folks. He's his space station is broken. So he's having to work on it. I think he's waiting on Russian parts.
Oh, hey, if I share a picture with you, can you share a picture?
Yeah, I probably can.
Well, we can handle it in the break. But you saying something about the Watcher made me think about this picture I want to share.
Speaking of which, yeah, we're almost up on a break. But
well, yeah, we fiddled around in here forever. We barely just started the show.
There's no fiddling going on in here. This is pure professionalism.
When we come back, we should jump on imagery at Gobekli Tepe, because that's what you ended the last episode on.
You want to talk about the imagery?
Last words out of his mouth.
I have some videos on imagery.
When we come back.
But so there's another point in here, about Gobekli Tepe. Jonathan's pointing out that I said it appears to be midden that was used as fill, and that's true.
That's right.
And in the papers they basically say this, which is why the dating is so difficult, because there's at least in the dumps of material that are in some of these enclosures, there's a lot of bones. And so many animal bones that they think that they were having massive feasts there. But it's also a bunch of other material that's essentially midden material. So the idea is that maybe they were excavating something somewhere else, they were excavating a midden mound and taking those materials and throwing them into the enclosure. And since a midden mound has a stratigraphy that can be dated, because of all the organic material and whatever, that a midden mound is basically built up by human occupation, possibly over thousands of years. So if you've got a 4,000 or 5,000 year thick midden mound and you excavate it and throw those materials into a pit, then the stratigraphy of datable materials in the pit is going to be all jumbled up and possibly upside down, like the youngest materials at the bottom and the oldest materials at the top. But if you're also partying, having huge parties and throwing all your trash in there, then you're going to have materials contemporaneous with the filling event scattered throughout all of that. So it's made tying the dates from the infill material to the structure completely not possible. It's not really usable to date the structure itself. So
Yeah.
Oh.
None of that stuff is usable for dating the structure.
I'm being too loud. The mic is too loud.
Don't listen to these.
No, hey, that's probably because I get too close to my mic. Start yelling at you guys.
Yeah, you gotta shout this stuff.
This is shoutable stuff.
Yeah.
Guys, when you all are in here and I say just am walking around out here doing whatever, y'all are loud. You guys are shouting in
Oh
here.
yeah. Listen.
And then when I get in here, I'm sure it's even louder.
So okay, we got a question about lidar. LiDAR is surface.
Yeah.
Surface only. If you want buried things, you can do ground penetrating radar or seismic detections. But LiDAR is like high resolution surface detection. It doesn't penetrate the ground. So
PD Riot doesn't like dating. He thinks dating is
dating
dumb.
is dumb.
I have a man. I totally could have used a your mom joke on that, but I won't.
That's
We need to
good.
take a break.
Let's take a break. Save that.
Okay, we'll be right back. I think.
He's supposed to have this music queued up.
I have too many jobs.
Yeah.
I asked about it.
Too many jobs and not enough monitors. There we go.
Can they hear us while the music's playing?
They sure can.
Yeah.
You guys can still hear us?
I'm about to change that.
He just wants to talk some shit.
I was going to ask you guys if you wanted me to make more tea, but I don't think that I really have time to make another batch, so I think it's
Oh, that's too loud. we are back. We never left, but we did figure some things out with the microphones off. So welcome back to Brothers of the Serpent Live, where I am basically figuring out how to do my job in front of everybody. It's great.
We could have practiced.
It's
a
lot of fun. We don't have time to practice.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we don't have time for anything.
Just learn by
I
doing
have 2
it.
kids and a farm.
You have much more than that.
This is anyways, it's great fun. Thanks everybody for being here, and thank you very much for the donations. We very much appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for working with us through the problems.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I guess we'll just move on to Gobekli Tepe, since that's what everybody wants to talk about here.
Yeah.
What? You object?
She's getting the, yeah.
She's like,
I saw that.
I have to. Laura sent me something and she wants to share.
I just
and
wanted
gotta
to
look
get it
up.
out of the way really quick before we get serious.
What? Okay. Yeah. Well, can you give us some background on whatever it is?
Yeah,
I'm
what
about
is it
to-
we're gonna be
It's
looking
just an amazing collaboration with myself and Solid Luigi. Is that Solid
okay.
Luigi? Is that what it is? Is that his name?
Troy.
Oh, so we dox people now? I thought every
He's
time
got
I
his
did
name in the Discord.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you sent it.
See, I was trying to be good. I was trying to, because when I do it, then you guys get me.
Did you send it to this email?
No.
That's what I asked for.
Oh.
Oh, well.
All right. I'll try again at the next break. Let's move on to
Wait.
Gobekli Tepe. We'll start the next segment with it.
Oh man! All right. So yeah, well, we were watching some videos on Gobekli Tepe. I was just literally blown away by how massive this site was. I would like to show you guys the walkway a little bit. This walkway is quite impressive.
It is.
This is looking down on
The sail, the cover they put on it. Yeah.
This is looking down on, what is this top enclosure? Is this enclosure
D?
D?
Is that D? Yeah.
So this is I'm not sure now if this is the biggest one, but it definitely
that's the
has.
vulture enclosure. That's D.
Yeah, it has the vulture stone is right here. These are definitely the biggest central pillars in the place that are whole. I think enclosure C with the broken ones, they may have been bigger. I don't know. They're huge.
And they look like they were the most well made, but they've been shattered. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is awesome. You can see this is all bedrock here. So they flattened this bedrock, but they left this raised pedestal around these pillars here, and it's just amazing, like the workmanship there.
I have a question about, or just wondering what you guys think. It seems like the bottom of the T pillar, where it kind of tapers in, seems like it would be more work to do that. Or is it that you...
that it gets smaller like this?
Instead of leaving it wide all the way down? Or is it because you don't want to have to make such a big hole in there? Or what do you think?
I don't know. They don't look stable to me as they are. I mean, that clearly the archaeologists agree. That's why all that framing is around them. And then
why not just leave it bulky down there?
The cobblestone walls all around them too. Like if... the question is do these stand on their own? Were they were they meant to stand on their own by the builders?
They taper down almost to give the appearance of Excalibur, like a stone in a
sword in the stone.
Sword in the stone. Oh, that's cool.
Not really, but just it just seems weird to me that they taper like that. It's more work. What are you laughing at?
ED Riot. He says, "Never ever wasted your mom joke."
Oh, you wasted it.
I wasted it, bro. Dang it. Yeah. Sorry.
Hey, Darren. Thank you. $10.
Yeah. Thank you, buddy.
An ancient version of Zahi Hawass buried it. It's covered it up, buddy. It's like the Smithsonian came out here 10,000 years ago and covered it up.
So I think that this is. I wonder as well if they found these pillars actually sort of fallen over and maybe they're broken here. You can see there's like wedges, like they're trying to make them stable. We can look in a little bit at some of the other pedestals. They appear to have much bigger slots in them than the size of the pillar, and then those are filled in with like this gravel. So it's kind of
like the flagpole.
Like a flagpole is exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You have the yeah.
Love you,
You
Ben.
got it. Yeah. Love you. So a flagpole has like
over here.
a pipe. Get out of here, bro.
I don't even need to be in here.
That's why we put you in the back.
I know.
He volunteered to be
Just
back there.
disappear into the darkness back here.
Only pop up when we need something.
Sorry, Kyle. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying that you could. It's almost a better way to do it because you don't have to precisely fit it. And if you put the pillar in there and you fill it with gravel and sand, that it'll settle in there and get tight. And especially if
That
they
makes
had,
sense. That's good.
they definitely had a plaster and look at this total professional move right here.
Oh yeah, that's
This
super
is
professional.
the sign of a profession. This is
Yeah.
what you want to see in the end of your video. But yeah, this is very difficult to do. The other one would be easier to do and gives you a little bit of flexibility in terms of how, the size that you make the base of the pillar, and as far as like getting it straight up and down, or plumb, I should say.
Yeah. So got lots of interesting questions in the chat. People are asking about the divots, the cup marks on the top. No one knows. I mean,
Oh yes, let's look at these.
Yeah, that's a good question.
There's more here. This is also a video. But yeah, that is. We discussed this while there with many people, and I think I heard that they thought that it was some used for some way of securing things to the top.
Right. That it had to do with the fact that it was roofed. I don't know.
So it seems if you were going to use some kind of plaster or mortar on top, like let's say you were laying logs over the top of these things, if you sort of mortared around the log on the top of the pillar, those divots would actually hold it in place, where even if the mortar dried and cracked and didn't actually fuse to the limestone, it wouldn't slide. Right?
Yeah.
It would be stuck in those divots.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was the only thing I could think of that makes any sense. They definitely do not look natural. They're too regular in some cases.
No, they're not
in
natural.
rows.
I agree.
Just looking across this they're just so weird. They're all so kind of different and artsy, and
I know.
all the little corners are kind of weird, and they're all about the same thickness.
Yeah, these.
What's up with
That yes, that enclosure, that one was the T pillars are almost mushroom like. They have this S curve. I don't know. Some of them to me look like they were supposed to be mushrooms, maybe. But it's very interesting.
And this stone here in the middle, they call an altar stone. And I've seen some pictures of these online that are in the museum now that actually have full high relief animals coming to like drink out of the opening in the middle.
Wow, man.
And the animals are literally just standing there. They're sculptures of animals. They're not really carvings. It's a sculpture. But there's some beautiful ones in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that enclosure is awesome.
So all of that rubble around them, these are original walls, right? That's what we're looking at.
Yeah, most of these are the original rock
well,
walls.
like they're ancient walls. Whether they're original to the structure itself, we don't know.
Right. And I have we can talk about that too. Let's see. This is a really good one for looking at these, I think.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this video.
That's the cat or the lizard. What are we calling the
So
the
this
3D, the real
this
prominent
sculpture is supposedly a cat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or a puma or something.
You know
Yeah.
what? You know what it is? I figured
a
out.
cat.
while I was listening to the last episode today, all the nubs everywhere are just waiting to be turned into gyaudes. That's what it is.
That's actually a
That's
really,
a really
cool
good idea. That they were supposed to be carved
Yeah.
into high relief carvings.
Yeah,
That's
like that,
genius.
Yeah, that is really genius. I mean, it's hilarious the way you said it, but that's genius that nubs would, if they would have continued to work on them, would have turned into like animal sculptures on the sides of the blocks.
Yeah.
That's really cool. They're
That
waiting
is great.
to be turned into gyaudes.
All the nubs
So-
are waiting to be turned into gyaudes.
So a couple of things. First, about this enclosure. This is enclosure C, I think. I could be wrong about that, but this enclosure is
C is the boar. Yes.
Yeah.
That's this one.
And there's the boar there. This is the enclosure that they found a pit. You know, the remnants of what was a pit that was dug directly to these two central pillars in this enclosure, and the pillars were destroyed on purpose,
Oh, okay.
shattered into pieces. So it looks like the archaeologists have stood this up here. It's broken. They're kind of putting it back together. Hopefully they'll put them all the way back together if they can. That would be awesome. But yeah, this someone did this like 6,000 years ago or something, like 4,000 to 6,000 years after the site was abandoned.
Right.
So somehow they knew something, and they dug straight to these two pillars, and the in the paper. They say specifically that the pillars were targeted by whoever dug this excavation and destroyed. So that's interesting. This is the other aspect that's interesting about it, is that these pillars that are carved, there's definitely carvings on the sides.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, this is all limestone. People are asking what this.
Yes,
Yeah.
all limestone.
Yeah.
These walls that are considered to be original to the overall design of these buildings and the original building design cover up 3 sides of this pillar that's got high relief carvings on it. So I mean,
It just doesn't seem like that would be what the people who made the carvings would want.
No, it doesn't. And the detailed lines, it's almost like a finishing line. I was like, what is that for?
are you talking about this?
Yes, all the tiny little lines on the
Yeah, the
edges.
edging.
These.
All
This-
the edging.
Oh yeah. This is like, to me, I
What
think
is that?
it's because these are sort of they're wearing clothes.
Yeah.
They're humans, or they're supposed to be.
They're anthropomorphized.
Yeah, and they're wearing like a robe, so it's like this. They call this, I think, the
Oh.
tie
Yeah.
coming down, but to me, it kind of looks like the coat that's wrapping around the front of their body.
Yeah. You can really see it the clearest on the 2 big ones in enclosure D that they're supposed to be people. Especially like from certain angles, they just look like a man holding his hands at his belt and kind of leaning forward, hunched over a little bit.
And so the T part is supposed to be the shoulders.
The head.
Those are the head. That's the
Oh, the
head,
head?
looking
So
forward.
the face would be.
Oh, I
on the
can
front
see.
here.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see. I see.
But yeah,
What
these
an interesting
these
shape.
T-pillars
to
would have
do.
been
This is
massive.
So I don't get. I don't understand it.
Yeah, those 2 in enclosure C would have been absolutely enormous. You can still see the shattered remnants of them on the floor of the
Yeah.
enclosure there. And yeah, I want to point out again, because we kind of went past this real
Who is
quick,
that
but
guy?
yeah, who is that? What is he doing there?
Get out of my video.
Yeah,
man.
what's the deal? But you can
He look at him. He thinks he knows what he's talking about.
you can see that they the first thing that they did basically was carve into the bedrock there and flatten it out and
Yeah.
leave those pedestals for the central pillars. It's amazing. It is
Yeah.
amazing work. I don't know what that guy's. Were you listening to him? He was probably.
Yeah, I was. That was a mistake. I picked the wrong video. Let's see. This one. It's the one.
Kyle, can you elaborate more on the thing you were telling me with some of the symbols of the animals and then groups of people?
Oh, you.
What?
You read that in the Tepe Telegram. The
Yeah.
that they're.
So one of the ideas that has been written about is that each enclosure seems to have a dominant animal motif, and it's not just the pillars themselves, but also this is associated with a lot of the artifacts and carvings and sculptures they found inside the enclosures. So most of those are now in the museum, but these guys at the Tepe Telegram, which are part of a big group of scientists that have been working at the site, have basically said that, you know, you can kind of say, I don't remember them all, but there's one enclosure is the fox, another is a bird, the other is a boar. So the one we were just looking at, enclosure C, with the busted central pillars, was the boar. Enclosure D is the bird or vulture. H is the cat, and
this one is the. Oh yeah, that's the vulture.
Yeah, that's the vulture.
There's a good one of
right, where you can see the birds at the bottom there.
Yeah.
H is the cat, and H is not in this circular area, so it must be one of the other digs that they have that you can't go see. And there's one other.
So this is really cool. Just real quick, the anthropomorphized form here. There's his arms coming down with his fingers wrapped around the front. He's wearing some kind of belt.
Yeah, can you zoom in on it a little bit?
And then
there
he's
you
got like they think it's a fox pelt hanging over the front of the belt.
Oh, yeah.
And
so he's got a belt with.
He has a butt flap on.
Yes, he's definitely wearing a front flap.
That's definitely a front flap.
Oh, we can't go around to the back? Swing around to the back, babe. Let's take a look. Is there a butt flap on the back of that?
Pillars of Enoch, maybe, says.
This is
Destroyed
the
on
first
purpose.
I'm hearing about these
Destroyed on purpose.
stone men wearing butt flaps. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, see the arms coming down?
Yes.
Yeah. Like they're wearing robes, and they have a belt at their waist with.
This is cool.
It's not necessarily a butt flap.
I
They're,
know,
they're
but
supposed to be
I
robed.
like it that it.
But yeah,
I
they
like
have like a
calling it.
decorative pelt hanging off the front of the belt.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool too.
Yeah,
just
that's
those
cool.
raised.
So back to the idea that each enclosure has its like a primary animal motif. These guys were saying that they think that it's possible that these enclosures were all being used at the same time. Like the reason they're pointing this out is because unlike most settlements that have been excavated in the area, and they list off a bunch of them, where those settlements would have many domestic buildings, places where people lived, and then one what they called special structure. You know, like how you would think of a village with a church in it or something, where all the houses kind of look similar to each other, and then you've got one building that clearly people put a lot more time and work in, and that's where they go to worship or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It has a special structure. Gobekli Tepe is unlike all these other places because it has multiple special structures, or what the scientists, the archaeologists, called a high concentration of special architecture, of special architecture, and that a lot of the enclosures look like they were in use pretty much simultaneously. And so they were thinking that maybe each enclosure was associated with a different group of people, and each group of people put their particular animal motif in their enclosure. You know, so you have the people of the cat, the people of the boar, the people of the bird, and so on, which is interesting. The other interesting thing that they point out is that at Gobekli Tepe, at least, and I think maybe at Karahan as well, that all of the symbolism is male or indeterminate. There's no clear female symbolism with any of the objects, the sculptures, the the artifacts that they've found. So I don't know. Could it be some kind of coming of age school? I mean, that's the idea you get from these guys. Like, you go. A lot of these ancient cultures had a coming of age ceremony for young men. Mm-hmm. So maybe
I know about some of these.
Maybe as the child is growing up, and eventually people would like look at his characteristics and say, you belong to the school of the cat, right? Or you're in the school of the snake. You know, you're Slytherin or you're Gryffindor.
I can see that, yeah.
Right.
Whoops.
And I'm reading a book right now about rituals, and they do say that this author does say that across all history cultures, these rituals do bind people together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sure.
So I was seeing this mentioned as scales in the chat here. We're looking at a pillar that this is, they say these are serpents, all like, I guess they're sort of a crosshatch of them though, but they do look like scales. Supposedly these are the heads of serpents all slithering down the side.
Or it could be a net.
And then on this side, I do have a video looking at this one. There's a clear single serpent coming down the center.
This is enclosure A, the snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
This is where we belong, bro.
That's right.
That's enclosure A. That's us.
Yeah, that's our stop.
This is in enclosure C.
Yeah.
Or it's sort of on the outer side. And I see that what's your name? Edfu texts you later. He says he's trying to explain himself that what he means is that there were multiple circles around the pillars and like, in other words,
you
concentric
can see them in
rings.
this picture.
You can see, and he's saying that they think in later papers, I think this is what you meant, is that they were putting up more walls to hold off the natural infill from erosion. I can totally believe that. See, I was thinking from looking at this that these walls look like a later addition.
Yeah.
I mean, it's if the outer pillars are socketed into the bedrock like these are, and they are freestanding, there's no reason to have these walls. And in fact, these walls cover up the carving so that you don't want them there.
Right.
But if they were in pits, it makes sense that you would have to have a retaining wall. So maybe, like he's saying, the original retaining wall is out here or even out here. I think that might be what you're saying, bro. And that I need to read this paper if this is what they're saying, because this makes way more sense. Your original retaining wall is way outside the circle, maybe even out here. And you've got multiple rings of T-pillars carved and all this stuff. And then as your retaining walls fail, which I heard a great quote while we were there. There's two types of retaining walls: the kind that have failed and the kind that will fail. That are about to fail. So as they fail, they keep building more and they get further and further to the inside. That makes sense.
That does make sense.
I can see what you're saying.
So the original structure was a huge circle.
Or
and
maybe,
then people stop using it for a while, and the walls fall in.
Right.
And then somebody comes and they build new
Try
walls
to restore it.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like to me. Is that we were talking about ancient archaeology?
Yeah.
Right. Like this is
that one right there with the birds, the same scale look on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be a net. Just saying, it kind of looks like a net.
Like it's caught in a net.
Oh,
I thought a
birds in a
turtle
net.
shell.
Yeah, it does look turtle shell.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I love this imagery. I'm not qualified to really comment on its meaning.
We're not qualified to comment on any of this stuff.
I am definitely qualified to comment on the taste of a fine light beer. So this was what I was mentioning before. It looks to me like this hole that they made in this pedestal was much larger than the pillar itself. Now, unless this was a restoration by the archaeologist, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be. So, yeah, this site is beyond fascinating. Okay, thanks. Edfu, text you later. He keeps paying me to this is a great conversation, bro. I'm having a great conversation with you.
Other ones too.
I'm sorry.
Rex said Russ has got a brand new bag. Ow!
No worries about the confusion.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. No worries about the confusion. I'm glad you mentioned that. I'll have to try to find that paper. Maybe if you send us an email, put a link to it. Russ will love that.
Going back to
I caught that.
To the animals, and then another part of the story is up on the hill. There's the tree.
Oh, we can look at that.
And
you want to tell that story?
Well, I'll try. I don't know if I even
I'll help
know
you.
the thing, but for years people were going up to the tree to make wishes or sacrifices or have tattooing ceremonies. But they would get tattoos of animals that were on the T-pillars.
Oh, yeah.
Before they were excavated.
Before they were ever
excavated.
excavated.
Is,
so the story was carried on, word of mouth, generational myth.
Possibly. It's very suggestive.
And that's cool to me.
That is
and
really cool.
The fact that Kyle found in that paper that there's evidence that somebody 6,000 years after the site was completely abandoned, they dug down and destroyed some pillars, so that places the last time anybody saw any of the imagery way closer to us in time. It's still far away, but it's not 10,000 years ago. It's 6,000 years ago.
Right. Okay. Well, I definitely want to get to that. We'll do that, but we need to take a break because I've got to go get some
Kyle
beers.
has to go get some beers. So we're going to take a break, folks.
And I also have to get the goat.
And yes, I'm looking back at we've missed some of your comments, so we'll get to those as well. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And
I'm going to go too.
On the fly editing going on.
We're all going to leave. And then it's just going to be them in here with the teacups and
Just
the
me?
music. No, them.
I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, you're not going anywhere? I'm going to go.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for waiting. Brothers of the Serpent Podcast live. You are watching video of Kyle walking up to the Gobekli Tepe site, recording Ben, recording him, recording themselves.
All of this stuff we're walking on is the mound. All of that
Yeah.
stuff that those trees are growing on is the mound. It is incredibly huge.
It
It's
is massive.
unbelievable.
So
It goes
they
all the way
planted an
across
orchard
that-
on it.
It's just, I mean, it's just mind-blowingly huge. This is one of the reasons why I'm just like, I don't think that you can claim that this site was intentionally buried, that people set out as a goal to bury all this stuff that's sitting on the bedrock on this site. It's too much. It's occupation layers. So,
And I like what you said about the covering and the pros to it being covered instead of looking at the cons of all the tint, what you said last show.
What did I say?
You were like, it's actually great it's covered, and you gave a million reasons why, and I was like, yeah, it's great it's covered. Right?
Yes. The
Yeah.
cover is good. It protects the site.
Yeah.
The
Now
limestone would erode pretty fast now that it's exposed, and covering archaeological sites up, even with the dirt that was that was dug out of them, is a common practice.
Yeah.
So
but the one next to the white Gobekli Tepe tent, that one really is a UFO.
Yes.
I know it.
that's probably where enclosure H is, the one that is the one for the cat.
Yeah. So
we didn't get to see that one.
cover really does look like a freaking UFO just
Yeah.
ready to take off, though.
So let's watch this walk around video. This is after we had circled Gobekli Tepe numerous times, taken plenty of video, and then Laura and I walked on the pathway that leads out. It kind of circles around the other side of the tell and goes back to the parking area. So I took some video of that, and we'll check that out, because this has to do with the tree that's planted up there. And Ramazan told us that, of course, the tree would die, people would replant it. It's not the same, it's not a tree that's been there for thousands of years, but there's something about there being a tree there, and that they circle around the tree, and they do this they have this whole ritual, as Laura said. And then the women in this, I don't know what it is. It's maybe it's a religious practice or whatever. The women of this culture tattoo themselves. They get tattoos on their faces and on their hands, and those are the ones that have these symbols that match some of the symbols that are exhibited on the pillars.
Is it the henna, or are these permanent tattoos?
These are tattoos. And I believe Ramazan said that the younger generation is not doing it anymore. So the tradition is sort of dying out. So yeah,
You mean the young people don't want tattoos of foxes on their faces? Really?
I don't know why. I mean, if I was going
it's
to
like
get
the
a tattoo
opposite
on my
of here,
face-
right? They're like, God, Mom, I don't want a tattoo.
Yeah.
I want your dumb tattoos.
If you're going to get a face tattoo, if it looked like something on a Gobekli Tepe pillar, I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's check this out. So Terry Jackson says he likes the idea that they were a memorial to those lost in the deluge.
It could still be that, but it just doesn't seem like it was buried like a,
like a time capsule or
Yeah.
something. I agree that could very well be it. I mean, we know at least that there's pretty solid dates, both with the lithic finds and the carbon dating, that place at least what I would consider possibly being a second building phase, which is the rock walls, at that time period, at the end of the Younger Dryas. So if the megalithic work and the rock cut work is older, then the builders of that could have witnessed a catastrophe in the onset.
Yeah. Also want to real quick say thanks to Greg. $10. Thank you, buddy. And there was one more up here that I had missed that we should tackle real quick. Wait. Lala C, $20 says Pillars of Enoch maybe destroyed on purpose.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yes, I'm glad you went to that, because you had pointed this out.
Yeah.
Sort of we talked about it last time.
Story. Yeah, we went over it a little bit last time, but the story of like one of Noah's sons. The world was destroyed in the deluge in part because of the how the knowledge of the Watchers that had been given to humans had corrupted mankind. Right, the earth was bellowing, all this stuff, and then so the world is destroyed, and then this knowledge that was supposedly lost was forbidden. But one of Noah's sons finds these ancient pillars and reads the writings on them and learns the knowledge of the Watchers and of the antediluvian civilization, and then he's afraid to tell his father because it's forbidden. So this story of these pillars being dug up and shattered on purpose is just very interesting.
I mean, the idea that I know this is crazy, but that this could that is what the pillars of Enoch could be referencing. Like if this was this whole thing, right? I think this is what your point is that this construction style with all these carvings of all these animals that were from the previous to the deluge was a work of Enoch.
Yeah.
That's where the reference of the pillars of Enoch come
yes,
from, because it was a known. I mean, but there's 40 of these sites at least around these mountains in Turkey.
Yeah.
This is just the tip of the T-pillar, folks.
The fact that they're circles, though, make you think clock or a timestamp or some way to show a cycle. They're all they're like a bunch of little clocks, babe.
That's cool. I like that idea too. And Graham Hancock thinks also that this could, and Martin Sweatman, for example, this could be a very astronomically oriented site. Which, hey, you got circles of pillars, and yes, it seems plausible.
But it does bear repeating that each time we start speculating, what was it for? What were they doing? What do the symbols mean? That it's so little of it is uncovered that it's almost like we just don't know.
That's a really good point, Russ.
Yeah, it's just it's a point that bears
Let's
repeating,
all quit speculating on what's going on with it.
I don't
we
think
can't
we
even
should do
see
that.
it all.
Actual scientists, folks.
Yeah, there is actual scientists walking past.
He's looking at you.
There's old Benzie. This place is just.
So Kyle's on one of the walkways that goes around the site. I walked this a couple times too. It's a beautiful walk, especially the springtime with all the flowers. They had all that rain, so everything was so green and flowers were everywhere. It was amazing, and very windy.
Yeah.
The flowers were beautiful. The spring is a great time to go. Ramadan, not so much, just because of the weird alcohol thing, but the spring is a nice time to be there. It was very beautiful.
There's the tree. And I didn't even go in there. I guess I'm not
interested in
I wasn't interested in
the
the
ritual.
He didn't care about the face
tattoos
until I talked to him about it later.
I'm concerned about this mound, that all these trees are growing on, and then you can see what the normal hills look like.
Yeah.
That's what they should look like. There's the top of the hill over there.
Yeah.
Exposed bedrock out there. There's my babe and my little babe. But yeah, we're still on this mound. I mean, it's just incredible.
Yeah, there's stuff underneath all of this.
Yes. Here's an excavation area covered up. It doesn't have any way to inspect it. And again, I understand why they're covering this, because, if this idea about these things being retaining walls in there is true, it just goes to show how much erosion you'll get if it is not protected from rainfall.
That's right.
Okay, that's it for that video. But yeah, the size that mound is just insane.
The circles in the flat rock when you come in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you get? No, you're right there.
Yeah. So
what's everybody thinking about?
There are tons of these.
Things everywhere, because they're everywhere. They were at all the sites.
Yeah.
I don't remember hearing.
Let's look at this.
I don't think I've heard either one of y'all's thoughts on them. Maybe I have.
Thoughts?
I forgot.
Question mark?
I mean, I didn't say that. I was just stating that I don't quite remember if I had heard them.
Okay, so this is near the parking area. I didn't even notice this when we got out and went up to the site. So Gobekli Tepe is off to our left, up the walkway. The parking lot is to our right. So this is right next to the parking lot. This over here is the bedrock form of an enclosure, and there is one of the raised platforms for a central pillar, and there would have been another one there that's obviously destroyed. These are supposedly also man-made pits.
Yeah.
In the bedrock.
Not an easy job. And remember, again, the other thing that is interesting, all of this carving, including the T-pillars and flattening the bedrock for the enclosures and all that stuff, was supposed to have been done with flint.
Yeah. So these are the holes, the little pits that Laura was talking about.
Yeah.
They're all over the place near these sites. They're at Karahan Tepe.
Mm-hmm.
They're all over the bedrock at Gobekli Tepe. And, they had basalt grinding stones, and there were, like Russ said, some 7,000
grinding tools were found here
at Gobekli Tepe.
Yeah.
So the idea of these being grinding little places to grind grains it just doesn't seem like a good idea. You don't really want a lot of limestone in your grain.
Yeah.
And limestone wears away easily, whereas basalt
That's
does
true.
not.
Right.
There is a huge basalt outcrop nearby. So when you first come to the site, to the visitor center, you arrive. Let's see. I got some pretty good footage of it down here. Oh, that's Karahan Tepe.
And there's lots of good questions in the chat here.
All right,
I'm
just
trying to keep
real
up
quick.
with you guys.
Yeah,
Sorry.
this is tough.
Yeah.
So this, oh no, sorry, didn't mute it. This is a pile of basalt that the farmers made, I guess with some kind of rake or a dozer, but I mean, it's just huge. There's a piece of limestone there. But
Yeah, there's massive basalt boulder fields on the way up to Gobekli Tepe.
so you can see how the farmers had been pushing it into piles and out of the way so they could farm. I mean, this is a little farmed area. You can see it's an orchard. They've got trees here.
And yeah, that answers one of the questions people asked. The trees looked very regular. Yes, it's all planted.
Every tree on this place is planted.
They're orchards. Yeah.
There's not a natural wooded area.
And everywhere you go, you see, like you're saying, Kyle,
There's-
where they push up the rocks and make these walls.
Piles and walls,
And then they
yeah.
farm all in between it.
Right.
Yeah.
So there is basalt not even a mile away,
Yeah.
not a kilometer, I don't think, away from the site of
What
Gobekli
was
Tepe. I don't know. I'm looking for stuff. So they had source for good grinding materials.
Yeah.
So I don't know what those pits in the limestone are.
So I think what you're pointing out is you want a grinding stone and then a grinding
mortar and
pestle made from basalt. You don't want to do it in
Absolutely.
limestone.
Yeah,
Because you end up with limestone in your food.
You're gonna get, no matter what you grind
You get
with, you're gonna
silicates.
get a little bit of that stone into your food. But limestone, you have a lot more of it. So I think in the Pueblo culture, they ground a lot with was it sandstone? They were using they made like sandstone.
Yeah, they said sandstone, and then it wore their teeth
wore
down.
their teeth down
Yeah.
flat, like because they had sand in their food.
Yeah.
Somebody suggests dyeing clothes. Maybe so. They were making red ochre.
Yes, they were making ochre.
They were doing chemical. You know what? That might be it. They were making.
There we go.
They were processing a lot of chemicals or something.
It did say that again with the papers that I read, they talked about the grinding stones. When they did a bunch of tests on them and the micromaterials, they said that they were processing grains, minerals, and ochre.
Yeah, so that's a really good point. You may want, even for certain chemical compounds, maybe you want some of the calcium in there or something. Maybe it helps. I don't know. But it is interesting too that you would see patterns of these grinding holes where they're all roughly the same size.
Yeah.
Like they ground them, they started them all a certain distance from each other in a grid, and they all got roughly the same size, then they moved.
To the next one, yeah.
And then there were some that were like the one I showed in the picture, they were very small. Then there were others where they were all huge.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, you'd have to start them that far away, like at least a diameter away from the center of the other one.
Right. For it to get the
For them
same
both
size and have them not overlap.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
you can tell that
It
there's
was
a
planned
bunch
out.
of the same sized ones
Yeah.
in a place, and they're all almost touching each other's rim.
Yeah.
So it was gridded out, like it was planned.
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
What's the thing that goes on the end of the screw gun, the drill that puts a hole in the wall or hole in the
Like a hole saw, or
like a hole. Yeah, that's what it's making me think of. They switch out their different size. This is gonna be 1/2 inch or whatever.
Travis says, thanks for the walk around video and taking us with you. And doesn't that hill translate into the navel? And also looking forward to meeting at the Cosmic Summit.
heck yeah, man! Looking forward to seeing you there, buddy.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm looking forward to seeing you there, buddy.
Yeah, I did think they did say something about it being the navel.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
Well, Gobekli means potbelly.
Yeah.
Tepe means hill. So I'm trying to remember.
This is not the first name.
I might have
Ramazan
written
was
some-
telling us that these sites have different names depending on which
Yeah, that's
That's right.
language
Yeah.
you.
I think I took notes on this. This is an interesting. Let me see if I can find my notes on this.
You
Anthony-
did take notes. I was sitting next to you when you took them.
Anthony gives $20. It says, I found you guys close to the end of last year, from Randall to Rogan to you and on YouTube and now the Snakes. Just a thank you to all of you for opening my mind and staying outside of the box, and a fellow musician with good beer. Thank you.
All right.
Oh, and thanks for listening.
Okay, so the old name for Gobekli is, if I'm pronouncing this right, this is very interesting. Hire Miraza. Hire Miraza. Which kind of sounds like a Hura Mazda.
It
little
does.
bit.
Ahura Mazda.
Hire
Mazda.
Hire Miraza. And it means wishing place or take the miracle.
Ooh.
And so I think
The
that's
place of
the
wishes.
Kurdish name. It's the place of wishes. That's what the reference to the tree and all
tree.
the stuff.
Oh,
A place of miracles. A place of like
It's-
that is
it's
cool,
a cave of
dude.
wonders.
Yes,
That's really cool.
That is really cool.
And is it the tallest one in the area right there?
It is.
Yeah.
It's the highest
Yeah.
point on the Germush mountain range in the Taj Tepe, which is the stone hills. So they picked the highest hill, and then where the enclosures are on the hill is on the top of the bedrock.
Mm-hmm.
But the mound itself, the tell, rises up 15 meters above the top of the bedrock. So it's just huge. It's 300 meters
300
in diameter.
meters in diameter, 15 meters high. It's crazy. That's an enormous amount of material.
Yeah. So we'll probably go to Karahan Tepe next.
Yep.
For some context. Karahan also that one is a Turkish name. Kara means black. Han means home or hosting. Tepe is hill or mountain. So it's like the black
Home of
hosting
the Black Hill?
place.
Oh, okay. The black hosting place.
Yes,
Hmm.
it's the hosting place. It's like home. But he said hosting, like the place to host.
Okay.
It doesn't exactly translate, but yes,
But why the color?
the hosting
Is there
place of the Black Hill or something like that. I'm not sure how the translation works exactly.
Well, it was definitely green when we were there,
Yeah,
but
I was
maybe
gonna
it's
say, I
maybe
didn't
it's
see any
darker.
Maybe they
black
painted it.
anything.
Oh yeah, could be.
They were processing,
Yeah.
chemicals and stuff. Maybe they had stained the whole thing black. I don't know.
This is the first I'm hearing about processing chemicals too during this show.
It's
Processing
in the
chemicals
Tepe
and
Telegram.
Minerals, yeah. It's in
I'm
the-
not up to date with the Tepe Telegram yet.
The Tepe Telegram is a good resource. It's a website if anybody wants to look into these things
Oh, and
further.
that's another thing. Sorry, somebody asked if you could tell the name of the paper that you got this story about the digging down.
The name of that paper.
Yeah.
Yes, I can get the name of that paper. It is. Wow.
He's
I
looking for the
just
name,
lost my.
and he's looking for it.
Dang it. I have multiple different hard drives to look through here. Let's see.
That arrowhead is cool.
Yeah, Kyle's got some pictures of some of the flint tools that he found.
Why can't I find this?
I guess he has too many jobs, folks.
Yeah.
Maybe I need some more jobs
wanna
because I'm
see-
just sitting over
So
here.
let's go to Karahan.
Yeah.
We'll do a walk up here. I think I need to go back to this. This should be safe. So at Karahan Tepe, There were some difficulties about shooting video, particularly, and I'm not going to say why. But so we'll just let's see here. We'll start with this.
Let's just say a lot of these sites were closed. You know, that's what it is.
There may have been some closed sites.
Yeah.
But there's the holes
Cannot
in the
confirm.
rock. Right?
This is
that some of
this
them?
is one of the large ones. Yes,
Yeah.
they're all over this area
Yeah.
back here.
Yeah, you can see all the pit marks.
All right, I'll get that plan. Let me find this paper.
Yeah, and were these used for actual water catchment? I don't know. It just doesn't seem. I mean, maybe.
The one with all of the pillars sticking up out of it up here.
Yeah.
You were saying cistern for that one, maybe? Or I heard.
It did kind of look like a cistern, but I'm not sure. I mean, it's.
I was thinking, you got to have a rock out there for like the frogs or some animals to get on so that they don't drown. Maybe it's a bunch of pads for walking across the water, or so the animals don't drown or the children.
Those
don't
things had heads on them.
drown. I know those things
Yeah.
had heads on them, and it doesn't make any sense.
Right. Oh, there. Kyle
Oh,
found a piece
looky
of.
there.
He found a piece of flint.
Oh, looky there.
There's another one.
Oh, wow.
Oh, am I looking for arrowheads?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't know why I can't.
So this is still on the way up to Karahan. It's up there with the rest of the group of people you can see. And there's a pile of material that they've dug out of the site and placed off to the side. And there are some interesting features on the way up here. And then, of course, the landscape all around is just, it's completely different. The tops of the hills, like we've said multiple times, are bare. Like you can see these hills out there. They don't have green grass on them up high. Yep, the video just ended, buddy.
All right.
Kyle can't find the paper.
Yeah, I know. it's like I'm trying to do it. And then here's some more of these. There's some more of these holes.
Yeah.
You can see how they're like equidistant from each other
Yes.
almost. And all roughly
And these
the
were
same
really
size.
everywhere around
Yeah,
Karahan.
they were
Just
so
all
interesting.
over the place. Down the side of the hill, up at the top, there was a bunch of them. There were lots of strange marks up on the top hill of the hill as well.
Can you go over to after this, the T-pillar that they were working on cutting out on the other side of the...
Oh, yeah, the one in the quarry.
Yeah.
I can do that.
And then definitely on this episode, before I leave here, I would like to go over some of the big quarry that we saw. Can we do that?
Possibly.
This is what I have. It's a 3D scan of it.
I have footage of walking up to this thing.
I think I do too. I'll have to grab it.
Yeah.
But
That's a good scan.
That was cool.
That's a
and this
great
thing
scan.
is huge. We
Yeah.
all took a group photo on top of it.
Yeah.
yeah.
So they were cutting this pillar out, and it was massive, and it doesn't fit. A lot of the little T pillars we saw at Karahan are very small, but the big central enclosure at Karahan had some enormous rock pillars that are now shattered. They're all in pieces, laying in the inside the enclosure. Maybe you got a picture of that.
The main enclosure.
Yeah. I know you got a couple of photographs at least.
I've got a good video of it
okay.
right here. We can watch
Yeah.
this. You want to look at this?
Yeah, so you can see right here laying in the center would have been a gigantic pillar. It's now shattered into many pieces, but
Oop, I'm looking at something else.
it's possible. Oh, you're looking at the carvings.
Some kind of carving. Oh, that's like the fox pelt or
Yeah.
something hanging off of his belt.
Yeah, that's another busted pillar right
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah.
That's something.
There's a
that's
carving there.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff. And of course, you can't go over there.
Right.
It's...
And the huge rock bowls.
That guy
here
can go in
at
there.
this one. I don't know if you'll be
Yeah.
able to look at that stuff, but the huge bowls. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, there were massive
They
bowls,
were-
which oddly were built into the walls. Like
Yeah.
they were used as stones in the walls.
Or maybe it was just their water storage. It's like, okay, put the water storage up there on the
Another
shelf.
carving. I think that they were being reused.
Reused,
It was
yeah.
like people coming later building these retaining walls. And here you can see the pillars are like built into this stepped
Yeah, it's rock cut.
foundation. It's rock cut. So if this is the ideal design of an enclosure, then you would expect a sort of stair-stepped wall, but the pillar needs to be exposed out here.
This one almost has an amphitheater feel, like gladiator games took place here, and this is where you sit so you can see over these people's heads.
See, Laura goes right to the murder cult.
Okay.
I'm deep in rituals right now. I've been reading some pretty dicey stuff. Some rituals around the world are really crazy.
They sat around and watched people kill each other in here. This is what this is for.
And see,
the cistern captured the blood.
There's a pillar.
Did that hole go down into what?
Yeah, there's like a pit right there.
Yeah.
So this is a pillar there standing up, and here's one of the bowls
Yeah.
Yes.
in the wall.
The
That's
work
very
to make them
strange.
round like that is just incredible.
This is the passageway that goes into the other rock cut area, which I have a good video of we can show in just a second here. Let's see, where is that one? Right here.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Mute it. There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
See, you got to help a guy out.
I'm helping you out. So this is looking into the one of the famous parts of Karahan Tepe, this quote unquote cistern pit rock cut with these pillars sticking out, and all of these had carved heads on top of them. They're now in the museum that we didn't get to go see. So these pillars were capped with head sculptures, faces.
But all of those look like they're cut out of the bedrock, and the
Yes.
one that's misshapen though does look like it's. Doesn't it kind of look like it's sitting in if he goes back over there? Like there was a hole there, and
Maybe. Like you're saying that one is not has
it
actually
looks like
stood up
that-
in there while the rest of them are cut out.
It looked to me different when the video first started. That
The flat one?
yes.
Could be.
Oh, you might be right.
And that one is supposed to be somebody carrying a like a cougar.
Wow, I can't believe I didn't notice
On
that.
their
We'll have to
back.
go back and look at that again. Yeah, this one, that I think that's a face, right? Or is that the yeah? So there's the hole that I was
Yeah.
pointing out before, and I'm standing on the edge here and using like an extension rod with a gimbal, trying to get.
Got himself a 6-foot narcissistic.
Yeah, except I can't turn it around to face myself.
That's my first time hearing that. That's good. I like that.
All right, let's see if we can see the bottom of this other pillar. Yeah, you're right. It's set into
It
the
is
floor.
set in.
Genius.
Yeah, great observation there, Laura.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I said this before, but this was, I've seen many pictures of this, and this was a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. Gobekli Tepe, the pillars and the enclosures were huge, and I was kind of expecting them to be big, and it was. But this was actually very small. If you stood down in there, you would be a little bit taller than each one of those pillars, I think. They're not that big.
But aren't you like 6 foot tall?
Well,
Maybe an average person of that size, of their size, whoever they were, may have stood face to face with this.
with that guy.
That could be an
Yeah.
indication. I'm not sure.
By the way, Sol and I were having a conversation in the car the other day, and he wanted to know how tall was Wreck-It Ralph, who is 9 feet tall. And I said,
Who?
he is just a character in a
Okay.
movie. And I said, he's 3 of those long Subway sandwiches stacked tall off of Russ's head. That's what I told him. That's 9 feet.
To give him an idea.
Is Russ plus 3.
so take Uncle Russ and
yeah,
stack 3
yeah, that's
Subway
what I
sandwiches on
said.
top of it. Okay, yeah.
He goes, whoa, that's tall.
All right, we got any more questions? I do have the answer to the name of the paper, and I actually don't know why I didn't think about this, but I could have pulled it up on the computer and just shared it,
Oh, yeah.
which I actually would like to do.
Go ahead. Yeah.
But the name of the paper, well, now I won't be able to find it on
I
my
haven't
computer.
been watching the chat at all.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I've been paying attention to the screen here. But yeah, I think Karahan was one of the places where we got to really walk that site. It's not built up. There's no infrastructure yet, and so you just kind of walked up and you could explore the whole hill. We walked all around it multiple times. There's many interesting features. There's entire mounds that you can see, like when you're standing on top of the hill and you look down, you can see other mounds with T-pillars sticking out of the ground.
That was cool. I
Yeah.
wish we could show that part of the video.
We might be able to. Kyle's going to pull up his
Oh, the
paper.
Karahan stuff?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I want
Yeah.
to show that. There's a really good video of us walking around that site. Okay.
There we go.
This
Here
is
is the paper.
Called Radiocarbon Dating, the First Temples of Mankind. Comments on C14 dates from Gobekli Tepe by Oliver Dietrich, I think. Or Dietrich. And the part is, let's see. I think it's somewhere right in here. I just looked at it. Anyway, this is the paper. I don't want to try to find it now.
Yeah,
This
let's
is-
try to find it.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's two that I referenced, though. There's another one by this same guy from 2013. I think this is 2011.
Yeah.
And they're both great. And they're both based, the whole purpose of these papers is the carbon dating and the dating methods. And, fantastic read. So
I guess I'll be doing that too.
it's really good. So let's walk around Karahan. How much?
What do
time
you think about the idea that
Oh,
this
we're way
was
over.
filled by flooding? I've seen people talking about this idea that any of like Gobekli Tepe or Karahan was. It just seems strange because it's hilltop stuff.
That's, I guess, for me, what I keep
So it would have to
thinking,
be
too,
a
is
flood
it's on
that
top of
covered the hills.
Yeah, it would have to be the big
And then it
one.
would have to be somehow that it was a flood that covered the hills that brought in enough material to cover up the site. And then all the other hills, that stuff eroded completely away. But in these sites, it didn't.
I just don't think it
Yeah.
makes sense.
It doesn't make sense. And another part is that the fill materials have a certain type of a certain lithic type,
Yeah.
different types of arrowheads and projectile points.
Animal bones and other organic materials.
Those arrowheads and projectile points are found all over the place in the Levant, in the Anatolia. They are, and that's one of the main ways that they dated the site initially, or archaeologically they call it, because they can
Is this
basically reference these.
is this PP&A or?
Yeah, this is PP&A, I believe.
So
Or
that's-
no, Byblos. That's
Okay,
PP&B.
Byblos points, Nimrud.
But I
Helwan.
think, yeah,
So
I think Helwan-
PP&A and PP&B is pre-pottery Neolithic A and B periods.
they're very,
Distinctive
yeah.
and kind of crude.
Yeah. But in terms of the flooding, like you would have to say, because these points are all up in this site and also down in the valleys.
Yeah.
I don't think, and so they're basically contemporary with each other at that time. So if it was flooding that did this, I don't see how that would work. Let's do this Karahan walk.
Okay, yeah. Climbing the hill. You guys are already above the site? Yeah.
Yeah, we just walked above the main enclosure.
Yeah. Hey, somebody's sporting their Turtle Creek gear.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's my rag from Egypt Kyle brought me.
Scarf.
I'm
There's
kidding.
Ramazan. That's our buddy over there.
Ramazan, if you're listening, you're like a brother to me
You
too.
are like a brother to us, brother.
You are my brother, bro.
So there's a couple of excavation sites above the main Karahan area where they're digging out, where these T-pillars were probably just barely sticking above the ground, and they're excavating all around them. Yeah,
Okay.
that's Ramazan right
Yeah.
there.
He's the best.
He is the best.
So he's pointing out the T-pillars sticking up over here.
Yes, there they are. Look at that.
And if you're not paying attention until someone points them out to you, you don't realize. And then when you see it, you're like, whoa, look.
You weren't paying attention? Well, I guess you had a baby.
I
You were
had
trying to take care of a kid. But yeah, as you can see it.
These are made by the
locals.
farmers.
Yeah,
They're stacking up rocks.
Sheep herders.
These are the T-pillars. He's like, check this T out, oh boy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to hug that.
We hug another one that's taller.
I'm a T-hugger, folks.
There's another one and another one. They make these rough. They kind of make circles or U shapes. There's another mound. I'm walking around on that mound down there. That's me. I think.
Look at the circle. Like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I was down there like, oh my god.
This is what it just blew me away. Just how huge this place is. Again.
Yeah.
There's the bedrock down in this sort of valley. All of this is the tell. All of this is the mound.
Yeah.
I mean, it's enormous.
And
That's what they should look like.
Look at the difference of the other hills. Yeah.
Yep, folks, you see that?
It's clear.
It is so clear. Just look at it. Will you look at it?
So there's some of the bedrock exposed. And, they were quarrying from the other side of this thing, so.
Frank is calling you a T-hugger.
That's what I said. Frank, you got it, old boy. Uh-oh, what is that? There is a bug on the ground. Bug?
Distracted from T-pillars by bug.
And thus the circle of life continues.
Yeah, that was fun. Lila was a trooper.
She was. Absolutely.
So here's some of the lithics. Take a look at these. At Karahan.
You may have said this already, so sorry if I missed it, but I have become very familiar with what the arrowheads look like here in Texas.
Yeah.
Only, really. But none of them look like that with such long, smooth.
Right.
This single flakes that they took, and then they just worked the edge a little bit.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, this is actually very hard to do.
Yeah.
So it's in one way I'm like, this is amazing that they made these ridiculously long single flakes.
Yeah.
That they were able to do this time and again. You don't see that often. I think the thing that it reminds me of is the Folsom points that were fluted, and they would have like a single long flake taking up the center, and then they would sharpen both sides. But these almost were like they barely worked this edge, if at all.
That's crazy.
Yeah, tiny flakes off the edge.
And what they would do is work the base.
Yeah.
Right? They'd work the base around like this, and then the top would just be this single blade. Technically, much sharper than a worked edge, because that single
technically
break,
much sharper, but also fragile.
very brittle.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Are they unifacials? Basically, one side has the flakes taken off, and the other side is
a single flake.
Single flake, yeah. So it's a unifacial tool.
Not the bases were worked on both sides.
Okay, bifacial.
But as you can see,
that's unifacial.
That is
absolutely
a single flake.
Yeah,
on that side. So very cool. See, I got another one.
It was a very sad day for Kyle to have to put it back down.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, I don't want to leave it. This, I didn't show this. This is a piece of polished stone. I do not know what this stone is, but it was. Don't steal my fingerprints, by the way.
I was just
Don't
thinking
say that
same thing right there. I was like, wow, babe, put those
didn't-
fingerprints away.
now I have
Jeez.
I have plausible deniability.
yeah, it's definitely got a polished side.
Yeah, so it I don't know. I know they made these little carvings of things I've seen, but of course, we didn't get to go to the museum, so we didn't see the
museum. Hopefully it'll be open when we go back.
Here's another. This is a scraper. So you can see that this
that's
looks
pretty.
familiar. Okay, this is kind of. There's the outer cortex. This would have been like the outside of the flint nodule.
Yep.
And then it's getting more
Fine.
pure, more fine, and the material's better and better to the inside. They worked this edge, and you can see some work on the top face here. But this is something we would find in Texas. This looks like a scraper you might find. So they did that kind of work. That's the thing that's interesting about it.
Yeah.
They chose.
Somebody says they're going on a murder spree with your fingerprint.
Now I gotta screenshot that.
Okay, I'll screenshot right now.
Screenshot that, bro.
Yeah. Screenshot it. We
Thank
have
you.
evidence.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Dennis is asking, did we get footage down in the hole in the upper shallow enclosure pit at Karahan Tepe? Want to look down that hole at the stone slab at the bottom. Which shallow enclosure pit? I don't know which one he's talking about.
I don't know.
We weren't able to climb down in any of the...
Yeah, we couldn't go into any of the excavation areas.
Yeah. They had military guys there, like, watching us. So...
Yeah.
Where are we on break time?
We skipped it, basically. We can take one. You need to take one?
No. I was just going to ask if we could look at the quarry.
Okay, yes. We can do that. I have to go back here and find it. Also, these are just my videos. Russ also has a whole bunch of videos. Like he said,
just grab one of the drone ones of that quarry real quick. Or do you know where they are?
Did you fly at Gobekli Tepe?
Yeah, no.
No, the quarry.
Oh, that quarry.
Yeah. The unmarked
I can do that.
quarry.
That was so super cool.
It was great. Yeah.
I mean,
Let
wow.
me find it.
I really liked
talking.
that site.
Yeah. So one of the things that George pointed this out for us to go was that up at the top of one of the hills near Gobekli Tepe is this interesting site. And I think it was also pointed out in our Discord. I can't remember who did it. Somebody did, but it's near Gobekli Tepe. You can see it from Google Earth. So we went up, we talked to Ramazan about it. We're like, can we get over to this strange looking thing? And he took us up there. And then we were like, dude, we have to bring all the attendees here too. I think they should be marked DJI. Sorry, I'm helping
Gotcha.
Kyle.
No, I got to make this bigger so I can see the thumbnails.
Yeah. So we went up here, and it's definitely a quarry site. No archaeological work is being done there. It's just on the top of a hill. Somebody has quarried an enormous amount of stone away from it. We don't know how old it is. We don't know who was doing it. It doesn't look like they were cutting T-pillars. It looks like they were cutting blocks. So it's probably far more recent than anything like Gobekli Tepe or Karahan, but it is ancient. It's just not that ancient. So we were able to get up there. I went there 3 times total. Once to scout it with Ramazan and George and Jason, and then once to take the first group and once to take the second group. And it was a very interesting site.
I would love to see how deep it goes.
It'll be at the end. Close to the end.
If one day a lot of that material could be dug out of here, just to see how deep it is.
Yeah,
I
see
would
how
love
deep they are.
Yeah.
Okay. This is not as easy as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, they'll be marked DJI file names. There they are.
Those are all pictures.
Oh,
My God.
okay. Well, maybe not.
Is it faster to just steal it from Twitter?
That's a good point. They are on Twitter. Let's see here.
Well, I'm sorry I asked to go look at this. I didn't realize that this was a... Oh, man. Maybe we should
haven't
just
talked
look at
about
that.
Sagmatar yet either.
Since you
Nimrud.
can't... Let's just switch to that. Can we please? Because I didn't get to go to that place.
You want to talk Nimrud?
She wants to talk.
I think I'm jumping ship on the quarry to talk Nimrud.
That's weird. They should be easy to find them. It's strange.
I didn't get to go there.
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
like to see. Yeah,
can
let's
go to
show me
Nimrud.
some stuff.
Now that we've talked up this other thing.
Sorry, guys. Maybe they'll have their act together on episode 3
I
of
didn't
this.
have Russ's. I just was in the process of saying that I don't have Russ's stuff organized.
Yeah.
And he didn't label any
I
of it
didn't
for
label
me.
or organize anything, so I'm no help either. Yeah.
Let's go to Nimrud. It's no big deal. Everybody's fine with it.
And I don't see any videos labeled DJI.
I don't either.
So
That's strange.
looks like we're out of luck for that topic.
Okay, we'll try
Moving
again
on.
later on that one. Brain check.
Nimrud.
Yeah.
So we did talk about this on the last show.
You did. And I have not seen that many photos from it yet. Like, I haven't sat down with you guys and just looked at your photos from that place. And I didn't get to go there because it was on the second week. First week we were supposed to go, but there was too much snow.
All right.
Yeah.
So I got some bus shots in here. This is kind of cool. We'll start with the approach.
The approach.
And just kind of give you an idea of the magnificence of this mound. It's up there.
Yeah.
That is the mound way up there. So we're still miles away from it. I don't know how we're just going up these crazy hills. I'm like terrified.
It was a fun drive. You could smell the brakes in the vans for sure.
Yeah. All right. Enough of that. Get one a little bit
The
closer.
roads were
bricked.
wow.
Man, I almost pushed a really.
It was so high up,
wrong
so
button.
steep. You told me you had to break into 3 vans because
Yes, we had to split into 3 vans because a full van is like it's too heavy.
Yeah.
To
There it is again. So you can see it, the pile of stuff at the top of the tallest mountain there. It's crazy.
Yeah, just look at this landscape.
Yeah.
It was really difficult. I mean, I'm trying to, obviously, I'm looking out a window, but getting the reflection out of there and everything. I'm like, I want to look at that giant mound we're headed towards.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just the landscape on the way, and it's
It's
just
good footage. Yeah, keep playing it.
Well, that's
Oh,
it.
that's it. Okay.
Yeah, I was taking short bits.
Right.
Planning on doing a professional
Oh, yeah.
job. So here's this is walking up to the site. This is kind of they built a really nice walkway, but just look at, I mean, this is how rugged it is in all directions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very rugged.
There's a snowball over there with Russ's name on it.
Yep. Yes, I did get pelted
What
with
is this?
several snowballs.
What is this doing here? That's not showing up, is it?
No.
Okay, good. But yeah, that's what it looks like out there, 360 degrees. I mean, it's just, it was beautiful.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Wow.
So now we're up at it.
It looks like gravel.
It is. It's a gravel.
How big are they?
They're fist
Fist
size,
size.
maybe a little bit bigger.
Whoa.
Very angular chips, like from quarry work almost.
Yeah, Russ, you're right. How are you going to get all that out of there?
No.
I love the idea of everybody just going and throwing.
If
points.
the whole snake forest.
Got to get the entire snake forest together. Everyone goes there. We all throw one rock off the hill.
That's
and
good.
We can uncover it.
we'll find out what's down. They cannot stop us all. And you have to Naruto run.
Yeah.
Oh,
Up the
what is
walkway.
What is that?
Storm Nimrud.
Storm Nimrud.
Naruto run? Okay, so what's happening here? This is just how it has.
The cracking.
Yeah, all the cracking. What's going on?
Yeah, I think that's. I don't know.
How
I
it's
think
weathered?
that's-
How it's.
Maybe so. That could be the weathering. I
A lot of the
wonder if
rock
it's
up
fire,
there, a
maybe.
lot of the natural rock up there looked like that too. It was
Yeah.
cracked.
So you don't think that that's from burning?
It could be.
It's like wind burn. That's what it is. The
It
rock
sure
has
looks
wind
awesome,
burn.
though.
Yeah.
Like, look at this guy's scar. Dang.
Yeah.
That's
He's got a legit proper scar there.
Oh, I haven't seen any of the darker.
I
Like
think
the
those are
line.
newer. I don't know. It's different stone. There's a platform made out of it.
Yeah,
and then
these are
there's-
like sandstone.
Yeah.
What do you think this tiny holes are in some of those?
We're not sure. There's like these little square holes. Look at even in the heads, like
Dude,
they
he
had.
a lobotomy.
like
oh,
maybe
no,
they were gilded.
No, that's in the back. Is that in the back?
But lobotomy goes
That's in
through
his
the
kidney,
eye.
man.
Yeah.
It goes through your eye?
Yeah.
So maybe they were gilded with some metal.
Yeah, he
You
could have
know.
been wearing something, and it's just been stolen because it was metal.
Oh.
He could have had a circlet on right there or something over his brow.
What a cool style, though. This,
Yeah.
you know, the artists that made these just had a great style. Really cool carvings, sculptures.
But it's the pile of gravel in the back that's really the important
Can you
thing.
go over to it? Did you go up
You can't.
to like
You can
right
walk.
next
You
to
can
it?
walk all the way around it, and on one part you can get very close. You're actually kind of walking on it at one point, but you can't climb it. I wanted to, but
I do have some footage from that, Corey. We could jump back
Yeah,
and just
sure.
watch some of my
Okay.
videos. Here, I've got a 3-minute video here of walking through that, Corey. So we'll skip back. The old tangent cube.
Since it was mentioned,
Yeah.
And Kyle finally found it.
Well, I mean,
no,
I
this
have
was
my
his.
own
We were
videos.
I was just
he
saying.
wanted me to find
I
drone
said, "Can you
video.
just play the drone footage."
Okay.
I know I gave it to him, but we don't know where it is.
There's Russ in the middle of that spot setting up the
Yes,
drone.
I am preparing to make the footage that we can't watch.
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
So yeah, this whole area right here is excavated. So the top of the bedrock would have gone right across
Yeah.
to the top of there and on. But the way this quarry is, it's like a grid in the ground. And I could be wrong about this. George disagreed with me, but it looks like these parts that they left raised, because they're basically just walls. When you get on top of them, it looks like there's a vertical fissure in the limestone. So it's like they quarried up, and you know how limestone has this tendency to crack in sort of squarish.
Yeah.
I completely
patterns.
agree with you
I
on
said the
this.
same thing when
I
we were
think
climbing
you
around on it. I
got
was
it.
like, they quarried up to the
vertical
to
fissure
the
and they
rotten
stopped.
rock, and they stop. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's totally obvious, guys.
You're wrong, George. I quit. The Cosmic Summit.
Oh, I just see something right there, like two little cartoon duck feet sticking out. But this was just so cool to walk around, to feel how big it really was,
Yep.
and to see all of these cut marks and what do you call I don't know what you guys are calling the one where they just went extra. The overcuts.
So here you
That
go.
was so
I'm standing
close.
on a
They went
wall.
extra.
Boom. There's the next
Overcut.
There's the next excavation.
And there's
area.
just tons of them.
it's just on and
the
on and on.
whole
Look at all the
hillside.
way in the back.
Yeah.
Way back there. It's still going.
Yeah.
I mean, this was an enormous site. So you can see the walls that were on my left and right when I was walking up there. They're just that. They're just walls, because this is filled in. This is another interesting thing. What filled these in?
Yeah.
They're at the top of a hill
Yeah.
again. Now it is a trap
It is a trap
for
wind blown.
but all this gravel and
Yeah.
it's just very strange.
It's definitely a quarry. I mean, they were cutting blocks out of
Oh
it.
yeah,
And how many of these are across the land?
there's quite a few.
Yeah.
Definitely. And at Sagmatar, the first place we were showing, there's one of these, but very small, right next to each one of those little temples that's out on the hillsides. Just a little cut.
But Russ and Ramazan both, I think you were both saying this is not as old. as some
I
of-
don't know. I mean, it's right next to Gobekli Tepe. It could be.
Yeah, okay.
We just don't know. But
So
there was no sign that they were cutting any kind of T-pillars out of these, and it looks like very regular block quarrying.
So one of the interesting things was that I was told that they think some of the rock cut caves at Sagmatar are 6,000 years old.
Yeah, that's right. And
when we went back to Sagmatar the second time, I looked at the way those caves were cut. It's the same.
It does
work. I mean, it's the same work.
It could be 4,000 BC.
It could be.
Yeah.
And it, that wouldn't surprise me if they turned out to be that old. Now, because some people say these are Roman. Now, would the Romans have gone and used a quarry that was already in existence? Sure. So it wouldn't surprise me if they were Roman as well. If the Romans went and used them.
Yeah.
If the Romans were still using a technique that they saw in the bedrock there, maybe they would have done that. Where did the Romans get their technique? I don't know.
And these symbols down here, I didn't get to see those because I couldn't step down there. We had to go, but yeah.
Okay, you want me to show this?
Well, I never got to see it. I guess it's just because
there are some strange symbols carved in the walls here, and I can tell
looks
you
like an angel or something. Maybe
that these symbols are old, and they're maybe not thousands of years old, but they're old enough for lichen to grow and for them to be turned blue.
Yeah.
Now here, right there is a modern chip.
Yep.
Taken out of the stone right below this symbol, and it looks like somebody did that intentionally. And there's actually, I'm standing over a pit that had a fire in it, and there's some like glass bottles, and somebody was partying here.
But that's obviously a man or a woman or something to the left there.
Is it?
Yeah, this one.
You think that's obvious?
It's obvious
Look,
to you?
Well,
it
looks like what it really looks like is the picture for a woman, for the woman's side of the bathroom.
Yeah, somebody chiseled that out for sure.
Look, pause it.
Whoops.
Head,
okay, you're pointing.
body,
Laura's pointing at the
arms,
dress.
like
but this is lichen.
Yeah.
The symbol is actually just this.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there are some interesting things here. There's also multiple other sets of
symbols. Move it forward a bit. You can see the tool marks. There's a pattern of tool marks up there.
You can see it kind of
curving
tool
marks from the cuts.
Yeah, that's good. You can see it here.
Yeah.
Okay,
this sweeping regular pattern of sweeping cuts and arcs.
Horizontal and vertical.
Right.
lines.
So this would have been, I would guess, this would have been one depth that they were going to remove blocks. Then they took those blocks out, and then this is the next depth they go to down to that fracture. You see this sweep is actually kind of going the other direction, and they get flat right down the bottom there. And these two depths are about the same.
Yeah.
But then over on the right, those sweeps come down lower.
These sweeps are coming down this way. Obviously, they quarried this wall all the way down.
Yeah.
But my point is that this looks like one
level.
One level.
And you can see it when you look at some of the walls. You see it's clearly stepped.
It's
like
stepped
they were
out.
cut. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's go. We're probably not following this chat at all, huh?
I'm looking at it every once in a while.
I have no
Runs
idea
with
what
scissors.
time
Thank
it
you
is.
for the donation. Worth every penny. $5. Thank you.
Yeah, you can go through some of those while I'm looking for this.
I think that's it for now. Oh wait, no. There is another one.
Where are those symbols?
You got more of the symbols? Yeah, there you go.
Oh, wow.
No, this is just a photo.
That's Laura's signature move on the podcast right there.
These are cool.
They are cool.
And this deep cut of a 7 or upside down.
Somebody dug beneath this too. There was a hole.
Yes, there's an excavation there, modern.
Yeah.
What do you think about these two recessed sort of
Templar
cross things on either side of it?
Yeah, just the wall of crosses. Somebody was just practicing, trying to get it right. This is like, Kyle, when you're trying to work on a logo.
Oh,
This
man,
is
I'm
what's
looking-
happening. Somebody was trying to figure out their logo.
They're making fun of me because I'm like looking at this like, dude. Yeah. I got to work on like easing the facial expressions.
Happy thoughts.
Laura tried to do a photo
Kyle
shoot
has
with us.
intense bitch face when he's studying stuff.
She tries to do a photo shoot and like the lady's like, okay, just turn like this and then look at the camera. I'm like, she's like, just relax your
Yeah,
face.
relax.
relax.
Stop looking like you're so mad.
Smile without smiling.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Why am I on YouTube? Good God. Well,
Is it break time or what?
This podcast is over.
yeah, this podcast
oh, really?
is over.
It's done?
Yeah.
We're not going to do space weather or ag update?
Oh, we're done. I think this was a great live.
It was.
The chat was fantastic. Some good questions.
Another fastest 2 hours.
we didn't do a whole lot on Sagmatar, but I do love talking about Gobekli Tepe. That's the one I've done the most, reading about, and it's just so I appreciate those questions.
Yeah, we had great questions. Thank you, guys.
And next week, hopefully, if it all goes well,
If all goes well.
we will have a guest.
Mm-hmm.
My first guest.
Laura got a guess.
Laura got us a guest. She's so excited.
I'm so excited. So I hope it works out. And that'll be next week.
Yeah, and then I think we're gonna do at least one more of these and get. We're gonna get Kevin.
We got to do at least 2. I'd like to get Kevin, and then we were gonna
Do one with
join
Ben.
up with Ben. Yeah,
Yeah, gotta get.
we'll make Ben go last.
Yeah, Ben is last.
He has to really step it up and drop us some
Hey, but
some new facts.
I'm
on us.
representing, bro. Come on, you my boy.
I can't believe you were able to wear that the entire show.
It's blowing right at me. It's perfect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the AC is right on me, so it's good. This is my spot.
Did we
I can
thank
fade
everybody?
off into the darkness.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
I felt good. The lights weren't too harsh. The air wasn't too cold.
show him your glasses, babe.
I'll show them.
She has.
I
these,
turned 36 on Saturday, and it's just like, boom, the eyes were gone. I just literally can't even see
Oh
anymore.
yeah, look at those. Those are great.
No, it's for the blue light.
Hey,
I
yeah.
can still see. It's all right, but it's supposed to help with the blue light. Suddenly, I'm just gonna tell everybody what happened to me. Suddenly, one day, I woke up with like vertigo, like full on inner ear crystal dislodged, walking around drunk when I'm not drunk. And then we had to do the maneuver and get me all straightened out. But ever since then, lights.
You need to
LEDs.
You need to align your chakras.
Yeah,
and
you got a big
tune
problem
your
with the
crystals.
chakras.
Yeah, that's probably
Well, I
what it
think
is.
I'm
Hey,
getting
you got
better.
a happy birthday wish.
Thank
Hey,
you.
happy birthday.
I think I'm getting better though because this time it didn't affect me.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, so maybe I'm getting better, guys. Maybe that's what I needed. I just needed to come in here more often and
Get used
just
to it?
act. Yeah, there we go. That's what it was.
You need to play more video games.
That's probably what it is.
You need to get used to that blue light.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I hope we thanked everybody who donated, and thank all of you
Yeah, thank you for my happy
joining
birthday
us.
wishes.
Yeah.
It was a lot of
Thank
fun.
you, thank
Always
you.
is.
Yep. Got a little trolling. Got some great questions. The
Love the
conversation
trolling.
was great. I couldn't follow it the whole time, but you guys are awesome as always. Thank you so much.
Well,
Thank you for your support of the show. I really appreciate it. We all do.
Yeah.
I think you're just going to have to pick. You either want us to follow the chat very well and you don't get pictures and videos, right? Or you
Yeah,
get pictures
pick,
and
people.
Yeah, or you get pictures and videos
Choose.
and then we can't do the chat that well.
choice is yours. We love you.
Always have.
I love you the most.
Wow.
Always will.
Good night, Adamu.
Dang it. I can't get it right.
Get back to work.
That's right. And something.
Oh, you're going to play some exit music? Some outro stuff?
Yeah.
Put on video?
Yeah.
Oh, put up the picture of, that I sent you to your email.
Oh gosh.
Oh, is that bad? I shouldn't have. Okay.
I'll try to find it.
Okay. I really tried, guys. Oh, and then
Thanks,
the funny
everybody.
and then the funny dancing thing with Russ and
What did you decide? Yeah, where did you go? Off to take the world alone. I I would be beside you, don't you know? I'll never leave you high or low. You're Poseidon, I will raise the tides and guide you in the shore. When you're blinded, I will set the sun and clear the storms, 'cause no man is an island. Why then have you surrounded yourself with oceans?
Hyundai Santa Fe versus Subaru Outback.
Yeah, because no man is an island. Why then have you surrounded yourself with oceans? Oceans, yeah. What did you decide? Yeah, where did you go? Off to take the world alone. I would be beside you, don't you know? I'll never leave you high or